Now to the trial of an Arizona woman who's been charged with brutally killing her boyfriend after he tried to break up with her. She stabbed him, get this, 27 times allegedly, shot him as well allegedly. And Jodi Arias could now be facing the death penalty. Dan and Nancy are standing by to weigh in on the case, but first here's ABC's Ryan Owens with the background.
Oh, holy night.
That attractive young woman singing Christmas carols behind bars could soon be on death row. This morning, prosecutors will begin arguing that 32-year-old Jodi Arias should die for the especially brutal murder of her one-time boyfriend, Travis Alexander.
I didn't hurt Travis. I would never hurt Travis.
She may sound soft-spoken, but police say she stabbed Alexander 27 times, slit his throat, and shot him in the head at his Arizona home in June of 2008. Arias pleaded not guilty.
I would be shaking in my boots right now if I had to answer to God for such a heinous crime.
The two met at a work conference 6 years ago. Jodi says they fell in love, traveled the country together, and to strengthen her ties to the devout Mormon, she even converted. But Travis's friends say after dating a few months, he tried to break it off and told them this.
There's nothing about her that I see in marriage material or wife material, but it's hard to say no to a woman that sneaks into your house, crawls in your bed, and tries to, seduce you.
Travis's family and friends say Jodi was stalking him in the months before the murder, something she denies. But at first she denied being at his house the night of the murder. Then police found a camera in Travis's washing machine. It contained pictures of the two having sex that day and even shots of Travis after he was killed. Faced with that, Jodi then told the show Inside Edition she was there but didn't do it.
I witnessed Travis being attacked by 2 other individuals.
Who?
I don't know who they were. I couldn't pick them out in a police lineup.
And now the accused killer is singing a new tune.
A thrill of hope.
She admits she did kill him, but in self-defense. She claims he was sexually and physically abusive throughout their relationship.
It makes me sick because I know her true side. And I ask people to please not buy into the sweet, innocent, personality that she puts off.
No jury is going to convict me.
Why not?
Because I'm innocent, and you can mark my words on that one. No jury will convict me.
For Good Morning America, Ryan Owens, ABC News, Dallas.
And for more now, we're joined by GMA legal analyst Dan Abrams, Nancy Grace, who's going to cover the trial tonight on her HLN show, Nancy Grace. And Nancy, let me begin with you. Looks pretty tough right there. 3 different stories from Jodi Arias. She wasn't there. She was there, but other people did it. She did it, but it was self-defense.
Yes, when a defendant begins to change their story, that's the kiss of death, pardon the pun. And another problem the defense is going to have with her at trial is she may very well want to insist on taking the stand against her attorney's advice. Now remember, you're talking about the winner of American Idol behind bars. Okay, and I think that may very well be the shot that you're showing right now.
It is.
She loves the limelight. And all this business about them being broken up, they weren't broken up. They were still having sex right before the murder. And with her changing stories, she also says she killed him in self-defense. So that's 3 different stories she's told police.
Dan, how do you begin to defend?
Well, look, I think that in the end, this self-defense claim is an effort to get second-degree murder. I think they know that they are in big trouble here. She's now, by arguing self-defense, effectively admitting that she did this, right? She's not saying, I wasn't there. She's not saying that there were intruders. She's saying, I did it. And I think this is an effort by her to say, you're not going to be able to prove premeditation. This happened in the heat of passion. It happened in a moment. We'd had this stormy relationship. And there is just an enormous difference between second-degree murder and first-degree murder.
Dan.
Yeah.
They don't need premeditation because they've also charged her with felony murder, which simply means a death occurs in the commission of a felony. And here they're saying the felony is burglary, which means you simply enter a structure with the intent to commit a crime. She went into the home with a gun.
Right.
Listen,
but
he was shot, he was stabbed, he was beaten. Boom.
But those are 2 different legal theories that are basically requiring the same idea, which is that she went in there with the intent to do something. And they're going to argue with this second-degree murder, I think, that she didn't go in there with the intent to commit any kind of crime.
She went in with a gun, Dan.
That's right. Well, look, she could say...
Look, I've heard a lot about crazy sex, but when you introduce a gun into the scenario, that's a little too crazy,
Dan,
even for a jury.
Do you think the prosecutors are overreaching by going for first degree?
Look, I think the prosecutors are overreaching by going for the death penalty here. This is not the death... That's Nancy.
Guys,
maybe the death penalty is funny to you, but it's not funny to me.
She took pictures of his dead body in the shower.
Yeah, the death penalty is serious business, Nancy. It's not something to laugh
in the shower.
Okay? And look, there's no
Dan,
question that it's a legal matter.
If you can name one case you've ever sought the death penalty on, tell me.
There's no question that as a legal matter, they can pursue the death penalty. They have a theory here, which is not out of bounds about why the death penalty applies. But in my view, the death penalty ought to be saved for the worst of the worst. This is a classic domestic violence case. She ought to be charged with murder. She is charged with murder. She ought not be charged with the death penalty.
Because that was her boyfriend, that makes it less valuable. She stabbed him 27 times, and she took pictures of him dead, naked, in the shower. She took her own crime scene photos, for Pete's sake. There's blood all the way down the stairwell with
which
her
is
palm
why
prints
she's charged with murder.
This is a classic death penalty case.
Obviously,
and when you said I was laughing at the DP, I was laughing at what you said.
Yeah. Hold on, I just want to very quickly, does she take the stand or not, Dan Abrams?
I think if she's going to seriously argue self-defense, she has to take the stand, but I can't see how she does. So, but I think if they're serious about a self-defense claim, she's going to have to take the stand.
We'll have you both back on this. Nancy covers this tonight on Nancy Grace.